Imagine a world where the roar of a stadium, the collective gasp of thousands, and the sheer joy of athletic prowess were not universally accessible. A world where half the population, by virtue of their gender, was deemed unfit, too fragile, or simply unwelcome on the grandest stages of sport. Now, cast your mind back just over a century, to a time when the very idea of women playing football, let alone professionally, was considered a radical, almost scandalous notion. It's a reality far removed from the vibrant, globally celebrated women's football we witness today, where records are broken and stars are born on pitches across continents. Yet, the foundations for this modern spectacle were not laid in recent decades, nor were they established by grand institutions with foresight. They were forged in an unlikely crucible by an even more unlikely group of pioneers. It was within this restrictive landscape, during the tumultuous years of the First World War, that a truly remarkable story unfolded, not in the grand halls of power or among the privileged elite, but in the gritty, industrial heartland of England. Specifically, in the town of Preston, amidst the incessant clatter and hum of a munitions factory, a group of working women, driven by a profound sense of duty and an undeniable love for the game, dared to defy the prevailing norms. These women were not professional athletes in the contemporary sense. They were factory workers, toiling long, arduous hours to support the critical war effort. Their initial foray onto the pitch was born of a simple, noble necessity: a desire to raise much-needed funds for wounded soldiers and their families. But what began as an act of wartime charity swiftly blossomed into something far more profound, something that would irrevocably alter the trajectory of global sport, even if its true impact would be suppressed for decades. Consider for a moment the sheer audacity of their ambition and the monumental scale of their immediate success. These women, in an era when their public presence was often scrutinized, when their physical capabilities were routinely underestimated, drew crowds that dwarfed many men's matches of the time. Picture a vast stadium, teeming with over 50,000 enthusiastic spectators, all gathered to witness a women's football match in 1920. This wasn't a fringe event or a fleeting novelty. It was a genuine phenomenon, a vibrant testament to the magnetic appeal and undeniable skill of these pioneering athletes. Such a spectacle challenges our contemporary understanding of historical progress, making us question how such a monumental achievement could possibly recede into the shadows of collective memory, becoming a forgotten chapter in the annals of sport. Today, as we celebrate the growing visibility and undeniable success of women's football, from packed stadiums cheering on national teams to the increasing investment in professional leagues, it is easy to assume this journey has been a smooth, linear ascent. We marvel at the athleticism, the tactical brilliance, and the passion on display, perhaps unaware that the very foundations upon which this modern edifice stands were laid by women whose names, for too long, remained largely unheard. The story of Dick Kerr Ladies FC is not merely a historical footnote. It is a vital, pulsating artery in the heart of sports history, a narrative that reveals the extraordinary power of resilience, the crushing weight of institutional bias, and the enduring spirit of those who dared to dream beyond the confines of their assigned roles. It's a story that resonates deeply with anyone who has ever faced an uphill battle, who has been told they cannot or should not pursue their passion, or who has witnessed remarkable achievements being systematically erased from public consciousness. This script invites you to journey back to that pivotal moment, to understand not just that these women played, but why their story is so critically important to appreciating the present and shaping the future of sport. It is a story of trailblazers who, through their sheer will and talent, forged a path that was later obstructed, a legacy that was intentionally obscured. We will delve into the specific circumstances that gave rise to this incredible team, explore the magnitude of their initial impact, and confront the powerful, often insidious, forces that sought to silence their triumphant roar and deny their rightful place in history. Prepare to discover the true genesis of women's organized football, a genesis born not of privilege or official endorsement, but of grit, determination, and an unbreakable love for the beautiful game itself. The unique confluence of circumstances during the Great War inadvertently created an unprecedented opening for women to redefine their societal roles, particularly within the industrial landscape. As men departed for the front lines, women stepped into factories, mines, and other traditionally male-dominated sectors, becoming the backbone of the home front's production. In this crucible of necessity, the munitions factory of Dick, Kerr and Company in Preston, like many others, became a hub of female labor. Beyond the assembly lines, the sheer physical demands of their work necessitated outlets for recreation and team building. This environment fostered a camaraderie that naturally extended to the playing field. Indeed, the very act of forming a football team was initially a practical response to wartime life, offering a morale boost and a means of maintaining physical vigor among workers facing grueling shifts. It was within this specific context of heightened national purpose and shifting social dynamics that a recreational pastime quickly escalated into a formidable sporting endeavor, far surpassing its initial charitable intentions. What truly set the Dick, Kerr ladies apart was not merely their existence, but their exceptional standard of play. Far from being a mere novelty act, these women were formidable athletes, possessing a remarkable blend of skill, tactical understanding, and sheer competitive drive. Their matches were characterized by swift passing, strategic positioning, and powerful shots, challenging any preconceived notions about women's physical capabilities on the pitch. Players like Lily Parr, with her legendary powerful left foot and prolific scoring ability, became household names, drawing crowds not just for the spectacle of women playing football, but for the genuine quality of the game itself. Their disciplined approach to training, often after long factory shifts, and their innate athletic talent allowed them to develop a cohesive and highly effective team dynamic, consistently outmaneuvering their opponents and delivering thrilling performances. This commitment to sporting excellence fundamentally transformed what began as a philanthropic exercise into a legitimate and compelling athletic spectacle. The team's influence rapidly transcended the confines of their factory town. Their success on the pitch fueled an insatiable demand for their appearances, leading them on extensive tours across Britain and even internationally. Picture, if you will, the logistical challenges of organizing such tours in the early 20th century. Long train journeys, securing appropriate venues, and managing the team's welfare, all while balancing their primary roles as factory employees. Yet, they navigated these complexities with remarkable efficiency, playing dozens of matches each year, often to record-breaking attendances. This sustained period of activity, spanning several years, solidified their status not as a fleeting curiosity, but as a consistent and dominant force in the nascent world of women's football. Their travels exposed countless communities to the exhilarating reality of women's sport, inspiring other teams to form and contributing significantly to a burgeoning national interest in the game. The immediate public reception to the Dick Kerr ladies was, for a significant period, overwhelmingly positive. Newspapers, though initially perhaps treating them as a curiosity, soon began to report on their matches with genuine sporting interest, detailing game highlights, individual performances, and the sheer scale of the crowds they attracted. Consider the buzz generated by their Boxing Day match in 1920 against St. Helens Ladies, where over 53,000 spectators packed Goodison Park, with thousands more turned away at the gates. This was an unprecedented turnout for any football match, let alone one played by women. This widespread adoration indicates a significant cultural shift, albeit temporary, where the public was captivated by their prowess and found joy in their games. However, beneath this wave of popular support, a subtle undercurrent of unease among certain traditionalist factions within the football establishment began to emerge. While the sheer scale of their success was undeniable, it simultaneously challenged deeply ingrained social hierarchies and gender norms, foreshadowing the backlash that would eventually seek to curtail their influence. Consequently, the Dick Kerr ladies did not merely play football. They inadvertently engineered a profound, albeit fragile, cultural moment. Their sustained excellence and widespread appeal demonstrated unequivocally that women's football was not only viable but incredibly popular and commercially successful. They forged a path where none had existed, proving that the beautiful game was not the exclusive domain of men. Their legacy is thus far more than a collection of match results. It represents a powerful, living testament to the potential of organized women's sport, a testament that was initially embraced, then deliberately suppressed, but ultimately could not be erased from the historical record. Their story stands as a beacon for all who champion equality in sport, illustrating the pioneering spirit that defied convention and laid down a formidable challenge to the established order. Reflecting upon the narrative threads woven through the genesis of this compelling athletic phenomenon, we arrive at a vantage point where the confluence of circumstance and extraordinary human spirit becomes strikingly clear. What began as an earnest endeavor, born from the crucible of national emergency, swiftly transcended its initial philanthropic intent, blossoming into a vibrant testament to skill and collective determination. The unfolding story reveals how a singular moment in history, fraught with global upheaval, paradoxically opened an unprecedented window for societal recalibration, allowing certain conventions to be momentarily set aside. It was within this unique temporal aperture that a genuine athletic revolution commenced, driven by individuals whose capabilities had been systematically underestimated, yet whose potential was about to be unleashed with astonishing force. The undeniable magnetism of their collective prowess, displayed on pitches across the land, served as a powerful counter-narrative to entrenched assumptions. Crowds, drawn by a burgeoning curiosity, remained captivated by the sheer quality of play, a testament to the fact that excellence, regardless of its source, possesses an inherent ability to command attention and respect. This immediate and widespread public embrace underscored a profound truth, that the appeal of competitive sport is universal, capable of transcending pre-existing biases when presented with undeniable talent. The sheer scale of the adoration they garnered, measured in the tens of thousands filling vast arenas, painted a vivid picture of a public eager for this new expression of athletic endeavor, signaling a readiness for a broader, more inclusive sporting landscape. This period, therefore, was not merely about a team playing a game. It was about the public's emphatic endorsement of a paradigm shift, a collective recognition that the boundaries of sporting participation were arbitrarily drawn and ripe for expansion. Yet, as we consider the profound implications of this widespread acceptance, a more complex layer of the narrative begins to emerge. The very success that illuminated their path also cast long shadows of discomfort among those wedded to traditional hierarchies. The burgeoning popularity of this emergent sport and the undeniable agency it afforded its participants posed an implicit challenge to the prevailing social order. It was a disruption, however unintentional, to established norms concerning gender roles and public visibility, sparking a quiet apprehension that would eventually manifest as overt resistance. This dynamic illustrates a recurring pattern in the annals of progress. Moments of profound advancement often trigger a reactionary impulse, a powerful pushback from forces invested in the status quo. The vibrant tapestry of early triumphs, therefore, carried within it the seeds of subsequent struggle, setting the stage for a period where the very foundations they had so painstakingly laid would be subjected to immense pressure. Drawing these strands together, we discern a narrative not simply of athletic achievement, but of a deeper societal struggle for recognition and autonomy. The initial, almost explosive, growth of this movement, fueled by genuine talent and public enthusiasm, represents a powerful organic surge that defied the conventional wisdom of its era. This collective energy, however, ultimately collided with the more rigid structures of authority, revealing how easily a groundbreaking movement, no matter how popular or meritorious, can be marginalized when it challenges the comfort zones of established power. The echoes of that pivotal period resonate with a poignant clarity, reminding us that progress is seldom a linear ascent but often a hard-won battle against inertia and prejudice. The legacy of these trailblazers, therefore, becomes a powerful lens through which to examine the persistent tensions between innovation and tradition, between popular will and institutional control. As we pivot towards the final reflection, it is imperative to grasp that the story we have explored is more than a historical anecdote. It is a foundational chapter in the larger saga of sport's evolution and societal change. The enduring spirit demonstrated by those who stepped onto the pitch, defying expectations and captivating nations, laid down an indelible marker. Their journey underscores the transformative power of sport to not only entertain but to challenge, to inspire, and to ultimately redefine possibilities. The insights gleaned from their remarkable trajectory invite us to consider not just what was achieved in that specific moment, but how those achievements continue to inform and influence the landscape of competitive endeavor in the present day, beckoning us to understand the true cost and enduring value of breaking barriers. The remarkable saga of the Dick Kerr Ladies Football Club serves as far more than a mere footnote in the annals of sporting history. It stands as a profound testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of passion against the tide of societal convention. Their audacious foray onto the football pitch during a global conflict was not just an act of charity, but an unwitting declaration of capability, shattering preconceived notions about women's physical and public roles. They did not merely play the game. They redefined it, drawing record-breaking crowds and demonstrating an undeniable athletic prowess that captivated an entire nation. In doing so, they laid the very cornerstone of organized women's football, not through institutional decree, but through sheer, undeniable merit and popular demand. Yet, their extraordinary success, rather than being celebrated as a triumph of progress, ultimately provoked a backlash from a patriarchal establishment unnerved by the shifting landscape of gender roles. The subsequent ban on women's football, enacted by the Football Association, was a stark reminder of how quickly progress can be curtailed when it challenges deeply entrenched power structures and societal norms. It was an act of erasure, an attempt to silence a burgeoning movement that had dared to demonstrate women's collective strength and public appeal. For decades, the vibrant legacy of the Dick Kerr Ladies was relegated to obscurity, a forgotten chapter in the grand narrative of sport, a poignant illustration of how history can be selectively curated to maintain a preferred status quo. However, the seeds of change, once sown, are seldom truly eradicated. The spirit of the Dick Kerr Ladies, though suppressed, never fully died. It lingered, a subterranean current beneath the surface of official pronouncements, occasionally resurfacing in grassroots movements and quiet acts of defiance. What we witness today in the burgeoning popularity and professionalization of women's football across the globe is the eventual, glorious blossoming of those very seeds. The roar of the crowds, the skill on display, the sheer joy of competition, all echo the pioneering efforts of those factory workers from Preston. Their story reminds us that even when the path forward is obstructed, the fundamental human desire for expression, for competition, and for recognition will ultimately find a way to prevail. This historical journey offers a vital insight. True progress is rarely linear and often faces fierce resistance from those invested in preserving the past. The Dick Kerr Ladies story is not just about a game. It is a powerful metaphor for any marginalized group striving for recognition and equality. It teaches us the immense value of collective action, the enduring power of talent, and the critical importance of remembering and celebrating those who, against formidable odds, dared to forge new paths. Their legacy compels us to look beyond the superficial narratives of history and to actively seek out the untold stories, the quiet revolutions, and the unsung heroes who fundamentally shaped our present. Ultimately, the enduring impact of the Dick Kerr Ladies lies not just in their achievements on the field, but in their powerful demonstration that boundaries are often arbitrary constructs, waiting to be challenged and ultimately transcended. As we celebrate the current triumphs of women's football, let us carry with us the profound understanding that this success is built upon the courage and sacrifice of those who came before, who played not just for victory, but for recognition, for freedom, and for the sheer love of the beautiful game. The true practice begins now, to never forget the origins of such hard-won progress, and to remain vigilant in ensuring that the spirit of inclusivity and opportunity, once ignited, continues to burn brightly for generations to come.